Hey, we've been talking about questioning yourself, and I think it's fair to say by this point that we can accept that we all question ourselves. The next question is, how do we move past that? That's what we're going to talk about on today's Antidote. Here it comes.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Although now I'm starting to question whether you're actually in that location or that is a background, because it's starting to look like a background. Still could look like a green screen, I think. I don't know enough about green screens.
How far do you want me to move back? It's real.
It looks good. I like it.
It's real and it's brisk.
Oh, yes. You had mentioned it might be a little cool. At least it's not raining like you talked about.
Yes, I think that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I did see a video of Jim Cantori get hit by a tree branch last night.
Really?
Yeah.
How long till that becomes a meme? It probably already is.
Look at the old guy coming up with memes. I love it.
Well, Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. And for those of you on the podcast, what we were talking about before is Bob is outside on location. He's doing a 3-day workshop, and so he is coming to us from outside. One of the fun things, Bob, I'm not sure I've done an outside.
Nope.
Maybe once, maybe at a lacrosse event. Maybe once. You seem to be the one doing all the outside events, which is great. So Bob's our roving commentator.
I was waiting to see what that next word was.
So today we're going to have it, as we do every day, we're going to have a conversation around a topic. As Bob mentioned, we've been talking about questioning ourselves, or yourself, all ourselves, all week long. And we're going to continue that conversation today, talking about moving past it. And as we go through that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas that you would like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments. Whether you are watching this on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or
LinkedIn Live, baby. Oh. There's a person smoking over there.
You woke them up at
7:15. I don't think they appreciate the enthusiasm.
Well, I did. So
okay.
You got a little bit of feedback on either side. So it's just feedback.
Not going to stop me.
That's right.
And by the way, Tom, did you go to LinkedInLiveBaby.com?
No.
Come on.
I got off our call and we chatted for a little bit, and then I got distracted.
Blah, blah, blah.
So I will have to do that. Maybe
okay.
I'll do that shortly.
Okay.
So please feel free to share your thoughts or ideas. We would love to hear your knowledge, experience, and perspective around this topic. And then at the end of the conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, or today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you, maybe today, or maybe somewhere down the line, figure out how to take your next step along your own unique pathway to success. And of course, if you have a one thing that you'd like to share, please feel free to share it, because there might be someone out there looking for exactly what you have to share in the comments to help them today. So before we dive into our conversation, though, each morning we do our celebrations. Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I am celebrating the fact that you mentioned I'm at this workshop for a couple of days, and I befriended 2 guys yesterday. They were new to this. They hadn't done it before. I hadn't. And we became fast friends. Like within 30 seconds, we were joking around and having a really good time. And we spent the day together. We did some hard work looking at our businesses and what we were trying to accomplish, but we also had some fun along the way. And it was really great to be around people that shared their passion for what they were doing, but also shared a passion for helping me do what I want to do. And where some people sometimes will say, no, you can't do that. They were like, how can we help you? What would that look like? And it's inspiring to be around people that inspire you. It really is.
Yeah, it's one of the great things about in-person workshops or conferences, or I mean, there's those interactions that are really, really valuable.
Yes.
So great.
How about you?
So I'm going to celebrate that today. I get on the college women's lacrosse field again today. I travel up to Bucknell University to do a fall ball game, and I am hoping that my memory recalls all the foul setup situations, and that my legs, although I think my legs will be good, will hold me up for a college game.
Okay, and the weather's good.
The weather is supposed to be good, I believe. Yes, I don't know.
Yes.
I was worried we might get a little rain, and I think we're going to be just
I
fine.
think that's coming Friday and Saturday. And we should say, Tom, if there's anyone down in the southeast part of the country, our thoughts and prayers are with you. It looks pretty rough down there. You know, we if we can do anything, let us know.
Yeah, I have a good friend in Fort Myers, and I messaged with her yesterday, and I hope that and she's on the water. I know she's got a beautiful place with a nice boat, and she hosted us when we were down at a conference or a gathering, and so I do hope that all is well. I'm going to try to maybe text her later this morning and just see. I thought about it last night, and I felt like she's probably going through enough, so we'll see where they're at.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So now we have to make one of those Al Roker type turns, right? Turning to something a little lighter.
Yes, absolutely. Well, the other thing is, I thought you might bring this up as your celebrations. Today's National Coffee Day. I got an alert from Royal Farms that told me it was National Coffee Day, and I'm like,
I forgot that. I saw that last night, and I was going to bring it up, but no. I did have my coffee this morning, my decaf, because as anyone around me will tell you, caffeinated coffee and me are probably not a good combination.
I bet it would be interesting for an all-day sitting workshop.
Yeah. Wouldn't be me sitting all day.
Well, and it's interesting that I brought it up because I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. So
that's amazing to me. What if you
really
like it?
I'm sorry?
What if you liked it?
Yeah, it's possible, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I have other things that in warm liquid is not I'm not a huge soup person either. So that's one thing. And while I enjoyed the smell, outside of hot chocolate, that's about the one, and I have that very rarely. About the one warm thing that I drink. And I just have childhood trauma around coffee. So
oh, I know there are people out there going, please, Bob, ask away, but I'm going to let it go today. But we're going to come back to the coffee childhood trauma issue.
Happy to share. I mean, it's not.
Probably not now. We're running a little long. And
fair enough. All right. So let's move on and move past that conversation and move into a conversation about moving past questioning yourself. Thoughts you'd like to share, Bob?
I do. I question myself all the time. It's something that I have really struggled with in my life. And I've been acutely aware of it in the last year and a half. And I've really tried to move past it. And one of the ways I've found that works really well for me, at least, is to just give myself a limited amount of time to question myself. Like literally 3 minutes or 5 minutes, or write down everything that I'm questioning myself about. And then just after I write it down, look at that list and go, this is crazy. That's not going to happen. Why would Tom want to stop working with me today? What of all days, why today? Okay, that's a lot of it's irrational. A lot of it's fear-based. A lot of it's, I think, being afraid to take action. And so I'm really in a place now where I try to, when I question myself, my immediate reaction is, what's the next action I need to take? You know, and the questioning, there are times when I question myself and it's been useful. Don't get me wrong. There are times when you say, you know, is this what I really want to do? Is this the job I want to take? Is this a city I want to live in? Is this the house I want to buy? Is this the person I want to spend my life with? Those are all things that we should question because they're big things to deal with. But if we're giving the same weight to a simple decision about, should I get coffee or tea this morning at the 7-Eleven? That's probably something that, question for like a millisecond and then go, you know what, I'm just going to get coffee. Because what's the worst case? You got coffee and you decide, wow, I wish I'd gotten tea. It's not a fatal decision. And I don't think any decisions are really fatal. Tractor.
Well, I think that you can make some reckless decisions that could be fatal.
That's 3 times this week, 3 out of 4 days.
I know. I think that that's the challenge, is that regular decisions, just ones where you honestly believe you're making the best, you've given some thought to it and you're making the best decision you can with the information that you have, I would agree, are not likely to be fatal. And I think one of the things that's in there is all those questions you were asking yourself were actually questions. I think that one of the challenges, as we briefly mentioned yesterday, is that if you find yourself making statements, it's a really good time to move past it. If you go like, that was a bad decision, or I can't believe that I did this, and why would I, that,
what was I thinking?
Yeah. And while that's
that one goes through my head a lot.
And it's a question, although it's really sort of it's a different type of question. It's not a question to learn. It's a question to sort of beat yourself up with.
Right.
And I think that that's part of it, and I think that there's always an opportunity to share what it is, as long as if you're asking yourself really questions that are helping you understand not only maybe a little bit of why you did what you did, which could be like, that was the best information that I had at the time. Great answer to that. Or based on the results, what might I do differently the next time I look at it? Really questions that help you move past it, as we're talking about. And think about what your next step is, as you said. It's like those really questions that are educational and really helping you learn are the things that are going to make it easier for you to take the next step forward. And I also think that, I liked what you said about giving yourself some time as well, or trying to limit your time. I was talking with a client earlier this week, and they have a situation going on within their organization that, because I know a little bit about the organization and its inner workings, I know is a hotspot within 2 different departments in that organization. And they're having a conversation today, actually, with both sides and leadership to try to figure out how to move past this challenge that the organization has. And, and I encouraged, and then they have a team meeting where they're supposed to do something really critical for some things they have coming up later this week and next week. And so we talked a little bit about it, and I asked if they were going to, because I wanted to hear what their thoughts were, if they were going to discuss the first meeting before if they were going to discuss that. And they said, yes, I want to get through what we need to get through and then talk about the previous meeting. And I said, okay. I said, that's one way you could do it. I said, one of the challenges is I'm not sure they're going to be able to focus on the important things. And they were like, well, I'm worried that we're not going to get that done. I was like, okay, set a time limit.
Right. Put
your watch on the table and say, okay, let's hear
what 15 minutes to discuss this. And there you go. Yeah.
And really get it all out. I think that's one of the things, is that whether you're questioning yourself or others, is how do you just limit how long it keeps you stuck? Because it's really, you're not likely coming up with any solutions at that point. Maybe towards the end of it. Usually it's funny. One of my coaches used to say, if you're really struggling with questioning yourself, that there was a good opportunity to find a friend that just walked behind Bob. So maybe that's your friend.
It's my friend out here with a great camera setup. He got the good sunrise. Fellow sunrise guy, right? All right, sweet. There you go.
All right. So,
Sorry.
no, that's okay. She used to say that one of the great techniques that she's used with people is she said, okay, I'm going to give you the keys to my BMW and you can drive it for 5 minutes. And people were all like, well, what does that really do? She said, well, BMW stands for bitch, moan, and whine. I think I can say that on here.
Wow. That
I
came out
know.
of nowhere.
And I think it's valuable to this. I mean, there is the opportunity that if you are questioning yourself, take 2 minutes and just let it all out to someone.
Yes.
Find someone who's willing to listen. One of the great values of a coach or a mentor is someone who is willing to say, okay, I know you need this. I know this is what's going to be helpful for you. So I'm willing to sit here and listen while you spend whatever your 5 minutes, your 2 minutes, whatever the timeline is. I would encourage it not to go past 5 if it's just one person, to really share their thoughts. And now you're not questioning yourself. You're just spewing out what happens, what's going on.
Right? You're getting the emotion out.
Correct. So that you can then say, okay, I've taken the time. I can give the keys back and I can move forward with what's next. Because I do think that one of the things is that if we don't ever, in some ways, if we don't take a couple of minutes, if we're in that space, if we're not able to just ask the learning questions, then it's a really good opportunity. Then it makes sense. How do I just spend a few minutes, get this out of my system so that I can clear my head and move forward?
I think it's good to get the emotion out too. There's emotion around a lot of decisions we make. And that emotion, when you think about what stops us from taking action, usually it's the emotion, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that practice of getting that emotion out of the way so that you can look at things more clearly. It's almost like the emotion is the fog in your way of seeing the next step, right? So if you can clear that emotion, now you can probably see the next step more clearly.
Is that your one thing? That's pretty good.
All right, I'll take it. Yes. It came out of nowhere, but I'll take it.
I didn't want to rush you. I just I like the image of fog.
No, okay. I'll take it.
All right. It's funny because I've got this LinkedIn post I've got to write, and I had an image, and now I have a new image that I'm thinking about using for it. Okay. I think for me, moving forward or moving past something is not always easy. And
I would agree with you there.
And I think you can start to get to a point where if you, depending on your mindset, you can start to get to where it's easier. Like, again, I told this story where I did the presentation. I had the 2 presentations in one day to a group of leaders. One, the feedback was great. The other, there was some mixed feedback. And honestly, I haven't thought about really either of them that much since the time I took the time to read through the feedback. I know that there was a little bit of frustration in it. And because I had already by myself gone through the process of asking myself the 3 questions I always ask: what went well, what didn't go planned, and what might I do differently? I was already prepared. I had already had a sense of what the feedback might be like. So when it came, I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought it might be. And okay, that's their opinion. And I still believe there was value in what I did.
And you learned from it.
And I learned from it. Correct. And I think that those are and I was able, because I did that process right away. I already had my learning information set. Now I knew I could learn some more from what they had to say. And I also knew that there were things that I was like, yep, this is what might come through, and this is what I might do differently next time. So I think when the feedback came, the emotion was kind of out. I mean, I wasn't really in that frame of mind because I had already said, okay, this is what I can start to learn from it. what else can I learn and add to what I've already learned from it, and not just walked away and been completely frustrated and I'm never doing that again. It was a horrible experience. All of those statements that would be questioning what I did. So I think that, one of the great ways, if you can get to a point where you start learning from your actions, the emotion can be a little bit less.
I would agree. Yeah, and Tom, you talked earlier about coaching. What we're talking about today is not easy to implement. We've worked at this a lot. It's a practice, and I will tell you, it helps me. You help me with this often in coaching me around these things, Rob. I'll get emotional about something. You could be like, whoa. What went well? What didn't go as planned? What would you do differently? And it's really a powerful tool. So if you're struggling with that and you want to talk to one of us, feel free to reach out to Tom or me. I don't need to explain to you how you can find us. It's pretty straightforward. You're smart people. So just want to put that out there so people don't feel like they're stuck and don't have a resource.
I think that makes sense. Complete sense. Yes. And especially this time of year, because I think at this time of year, people are starting to look back or are starting to more look ahead and say, maybe I'm not getting the results that I thought I was going to have this year. What can I do differently? Or they can be like, well, this year is a waste, and just spend the next 2.5 months stuck and hoping and waiting and wishing every day that January 1st would come around.
Train.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you might be able to see it off in the distance. I'm not sure.
I could see it. Yeah. People on a podcast, they can't see it, nor could they comment. So if you're on the podcast and you would like to comment, we apologize that you're not able to, although that's not anything we can control. Although Bob has said Bob's working on a solution. Is that what you're at the conference for? To find a solution to that challenge?
It's the podcast commenters solution committee. Yes.
Excellent. So we would encourage you to go to one of our groups. We have 2 groups. We have our LinkedIn group if you're a LinkedIn person, or you're someone who is a LinkedIn Live baby person. It's called the Renegade Success Network for Leaders. Join us there because we're talking about questioning yourself all week. We would love to see you share your thoughts and ideas there. If you're a Facebook person, you can join us in the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. And we'd be happy to share more information around it. And we'd love to hear what your value is, because we know that there are people in both of those groups who are looking for something, and you might have exactly what they happen to be looking for. And one day you might be looking for something, and it might be a great resource for you to find your next step along your own unique pathway to success. So we look forward to seeing you in either one of those groups. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time, for Bob's favorite show of the week.
Discoveries of the week.
Yes, our discoveries of the week. So we look forward to that conversation tomorrow, where we will try to wrap up a little bit our conversation around questioning yourself. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being a part of our show today. Have a great day.
Hey, embrace the renegade in you and have a cup of coffee. It's National Coffee Day, as Tom pointed out.
I think I'll pass, although it's a great opportunity for others. Thanks. All right, everybody, go out and make it a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.